I have played Resident Evil 4 on many different platforms many different times. If you haven't played it yet on the VR, I strongly suggest you do, because it's a completely different game. And it's fantastic. Everything is faster. Reload speed, animations, and even the damn enemies. I figured everyone knows Resident Evil. Seriously, even your mother knows Resident Evil. They've probably, at the very least, seen one of the movies. Resident Evil 4 places Leon, an ex-police officer of Raccoon City, sent to rescue the president's daughter from a cult group. But before this, you are kinda given a quick tutorial on what to do. Make sure you do not skip it. I will say that it does take time to get used to. If you have played this game, I didn't get real used to it until about midway through Chapter 2. So it takes a while. The gameplay being shown is on normal difficulty. I will say, for some reason, bosses are absolutely a whole ton easier on this than any other platform I've played it on. Well, some are. So remember to always adjust controls. I started off with the gun on my left when I'm right-handed, so that was definitely odd. I will say, throughout my gameplay, health did deplete a lot easier than it used to, I guess. It kinda evens out the easy and hard thing. The beginning plays out where you ask this gentleman if he has seen this girl, the aforementioned president's daughter. He isn't a big fan of you, and the game gave me plenty of time to figure out the controls. I just chose to ignore them. Let's cut to the first village, which is only a few minutes past the start. In this village, you acquire the shotgun. I will say the first quote-unquote mini-boss, the Chainsaw Man, was genuinely terrifying. When I acquired the shotgun, I was in for a real treat, because you can dual wield now. Of course, it's a single shot shotgun, so you're gonna have to pump it every time, but nonetheless, it's great. Also, the damn knife that used to be a pain to use, you can actually move and swipe with it. You get used to everything. Your inventory space is kinda awkward to get used to, but besides that, it's still very similar. You can't go wrong with the action sequences either, or the cutscenes. Every cutscene or things like that, you get put in this little room and you get to watch it happen. I'll mention that later, but in these scenes, you'll also have to do the cinematic things too. So you used to have to roll the joystick or button mash, but now it's just all in the hand motion, so it's a whole lot better. The first thing that really stuck out to me was the puzzle with the insignia sign on it in the ball. I didn't get this recorded, but I'm sure I'll find someone else who had it. This is awesome in VR because you physically get to touch it. My first playthrough, I wasn't allowed to fight against Del Lago or El Gigante because my girlfriend played it, so thank you, Grace. So I can't talk about that right now. I want to rush past and get to the church and where you get Ashley. Ashley is significantly easier to maintain in VR because for some reason she is way less stupid. I genuinely remember countless times where an onslaught of enemies would come at me and she would just stand in the middle and get shot. That would happen in the console versions a lot, but in this one, I don't know why. She just seems to do that a whole lot less, so good on the VR game. The first time I felt truly immersed and actually terrified when I was locked in the house with Luis and Ganado after Ganado was coming. Even on console, this part was pretty difficult, but in VR, it was really awesome. It was around this time though, I noticed a slight problem. I remember Leon walking slowly in the console version, and holding A would make him run. That is completely absent in this game. Now of course, his speed is a little faster, but you can't run. It makes the rare times where you do have to backtrack slow, but hey, there's gonna be some things that they do have to do different. Quick cut to the castle walls. I always remember coming up to this part with a rifle, and this time I sadly didn't, so I had to use what I could work with. Get past the castle walls, don't get hit by anything and get insta-clapped, switch some swords out and press forward. I'll cut to the first part I found real easy. I don't know why, if it was because my shotgun was so strong, but the Garrador goes down real easy. Aw, So, if you're a Resident Evil 4 fan, you know that this room is usually really hard, but it's easy for me. Of course, I take damage, but not that bad, as some parts of the game can get. Ashley can rotate the levers and proceed forward. So, once you get to here, Ashley runs away, thank God, and you know, run through Bug Alley. But get past this and go to the next area. This is my least favorite part because I can never kill this guy before he gets to the damn turret. Mess him up, get the gallery key, and get to this puzzle. It didn't take me that long. Blast through some more enemies, hit some buttons in VR, and get to the part that I knew was going to be great, the maze. What I didn't expect is to get fucking horrified. These dogs make scary noises and jump out of nowhere. After a quick puzzle by shooting a wine, you are immediately subjected with the Wolverine guy again. I decided to mention this because this is a tight corner, and of course, it can be really scary. Not long after this, the first time you can grab a rocket launcher, this definitely won't come back to bite me later. Watch your homie get clapped, rescue Ashley, and start one of the worst side missions ever, Ashley's mission. You travel through semi-dark passageways with no way of defending yourself besides lanterns that don't even kill the enemies. I think my biggest issue with the entire mission is the ending puzzle. This shit is so goddamn confusing. After about 15 minutes of looking like a dumbass, I finished the puzzle, made my way back to Leon, and I finally had firepower back. Make your way through the Inferno room. You can also backtrack and grab the broken butterfly and a whole bunch of treasure from this room. Proceed onward and open the Grand Hall doors. Your next action-filled event has 3 nights, followed by 3 more nights, back to back. This was actually kind of difficult, and I'm pretty sure I died the first time while doing it. There's a couple puzzles to do, nothing too hard. You will eventually come to where you need a King's and Queen's Grail. Once you enter, you are in the Bug Stronghold, and they decide to take Ashley again. Oh no. This is also where I amazingly wasted my rocket launcher. This part was very annoying. I got murked a couple times because there's just an onslaught on top of onslaught of these bugs coming to get me. We'll cut to the clock tower, which was annoying in the console versions of the game, but I didn't mind it too much here. Mainly because you can see all the boxes you need to hit to get to the gears working easily instead of having to be close to them. Continuing forward, you are met with 2 of the clawed opponents. Don't fear. Take out all the zombies and then take them out one by one. I mostly used my shotgun for this, so you get the picture. Now, if you've played the game before, you know what part I'm about to talk about next. You go down this corridor hearing strange noises. You turn on the power to get to the elevator, and you turn around and BAM! This assassin is here to kill you. And you know what? I killed him before the time even ran out to get back to the elevator. Now, I don't know if he was less threatening to me this time around, but yeah, I killed him. I took the money and went to the shooting gallery. The next part shows us having to blow up TNT to open a pathway that leads to an Inferno room. Players, you know what's coming up. 2 El Gigantes attack. Luckily, you can have one of them fall into the pit. Unfortunately, you don't get the money from the one that falls into the pit though. Finally, the last bug world is easily the worst because now you have an onslaught of them that just want to wreck your day. Flip a couple switches and leave the room. Now comes to the minecart endeavor. You appear in a sand-like room. Go past the enemies and come to a stop where you're at the minecart. One thing I do find similar though is that I never seem to have ammo at this point in the game, so I have to keep all my shots careful and all that good jazz. This part is also notorious among people, but not hard in VR. Flip the switches, come down, head to the door, and get chased by the Salazar statue. This thing is relentless too. It'll chase you all the way to the end of where it falls. Enter Salazar's headquarters. Now, this part is probably what's the hardest for me. Now, it's not as hard in VR as it is in console, but it's still hard nonetheless. Fight off the horde and make your way to the top. This is where you'll encounter Salazar for the final time. This is a really easy boss fight. Aim for the eye and when he opens his body, shoot at that. Oddly satisfying. Onward to the island. Make a few jumps and you are met with a new mini-boss. Think of him as the chainsaw guy, but he can kill you from a distance. I will say, I do like the stun time you get from him when he does hit you, but if you are low on health, you are dead as fuck. Kill him, rotate the insignias toward the light to unlock the door. Coming up is the oddest place for a merchant since he is like right in the middle of a firefight almost. I don't know, I always thought this was weird. Anyway, make your way inside the island headquarters, and this is where the game takes a drastic turn from fun to hard. Enemies come non-stop and take a whole ton of ammo to kill. I had my Punisher maxed out to all hell and I still had issues. Keep moving forward. Another not excited thing I was for the regenerators. When you first come across them, they are not as easy to kill as you think until you get the infrared scope, and luckily I got the rifle right before this. They are still horrifying. Speedrun your way to Ashley, fall down some trash, kill some refrigerators, use a wrecking ball for some reason, and have Ashley safely drive your ass to the next checkpoint. Please don't kill me. As soon as you guys stop, Ashley gets taken away from you again. Jeez Louise. No time. You have to go to a family reunion. Krauser. I don't mind this part. There were times I shouldn't have died, and times I should have. This didn't happen too much. Now that I think about it, it only happened with the fights with Krauser. Anyways, take his knife and rescue Ashley. Now, Sadler's stronghold is straight up like the White House. How is he able to get past here, run up the wall, and miss these lasers? Jeez. Anyways, next important thing, and the first actual difficult boss, by the way, do not skip cutscenes too. 1 second you're in a room, next you're in a room with this thing. Hello. And let's just say, this probably ended up being the scariest part for me. The tight corners, the being able to turn around 1 second and him not be there and the next he is scary. The actual fight part is hard too. I actually almost died. Anyways, collect your gold and continue on. We are reaching near the end of the game. Almost right after killing it, no seriously that's his name, you come to the Krauser section and of course it can't just be kill Krauser and leave. No, you have to find parts and everything is timed. So it'll probably take you 2 or 3 times just to get to him. But for some reason, if you don't know, Krauser is extremely weak to the knife. So try to utilize this as much as possible and don't waste any time. You have to leave the area before the timer goes out. Do not make any mistakes. Now, the final section of the game is only difficult because of pure cheapness. You have not only turrets and Mr. T shooting at you, but you also have zombies that are armored to hell. It's an absolute great time. For the final section, flip both panels and enter the stronghold. This part for me is easier because you don't have people on turrets shooting at you the whole time. Instead, you do have a bunch of people after you though. Steal a key card and open the door to the final section. Oh, and kill Mr. T for some gold. Rescue Ashley, get the parasite taken out of you. Now, it's time to finish Sadler off. And oh my god, why does he look like this? And he took plenty and plenty of bullets. Now, it was the final time to hit him with the rocket launcher. Mind you, the only other time I used the rocket launcher was, well, I stepped back, held my breath, and bam! I wasn't able to figure it out. After panicking for what felt like minutes, I was finally able to figure out how to shoot the damn thing and kill Sadler. What a good end of the game. But nope, not yet. Grab Ashley and head towards the jet ski. We have to utilize the VR for one more thing, the speedboat. I don't know what it was, I was having real trouble with the movement of the jet ski. But after attempt and attempt, I was able to fly out of there with Ashley attached to the back. Resident Evil 4 VR is many things, but at the end of the day, it's an experience. It's an experience if you have played the game time and time again. This just has a twist on it that at one point all of the fans wanted. Us being in Leon's shoes. Literally. If you haven't ever played it, then it's a good game. And if you have played Resident Evil 4, well, it's definitely worth a shot in VR.